Welcome to Horror After Midnight. I am your host, KC, joined tonight by SaWGuy. How's it going tonight, man?
Doing good. And man, dude, we finally did it towards the way at the end. And we can officially say evil dies tonight.
Here with Halloween Ends.
I know. That's why I'm like, dude, we are talking about how it finally ends. And this one, oh my God, dude. We got a lot of shit to talk about with this one because as you all know and have followed this show, me, Casey, and Slink, we all got together and we were very uncandid. You even saw me unmasked, yes. And we talked about how much we absolutely despise this film. And I mean, does it still hold up as one of our worst ones? I mean, this is still like the worst Halloween film for me. Is this still the worst one for you?
Yeah, out of the whole Halloween series, I'd say it's the worst one. Um, it's a decent movie. If they would
Mm-hmm.
remove Michael, remove the Halloween title, and make it some kind of random spin-off serial killer movie about this kid Corey, wouldn't be that bad. But being a
Mm-hmm.
Halloween film, Michael just they did him really dirty. Like,
Yeah, and honestly, it really sucked. But you're right. This has a touch of Halloween 3 into it because Halloween 3 would have been great if they would have just called it Season of the Witch. This would have been great if they would have just taken out Halloween Ends and just called it Corey Ends, or just something stupid with Corey. Um,
yeah.
Let me break it down for you because I know with every episode we got to break down the numbers and all that stuff. Because we want to know who wrote this piece of shit. Of course, it's directed by David Gordon Green. He directed, the most best one, I would say, 18 and Kills. Written, of course, by Danny McBride, David Gordon Green. This one had two other writers. It had Paul Brad Logan and Chris Bernier. And this writing was all done with the supervision of John Carpenter. Believe it or not, John Carpenter was involved in this to say, look, if we're going to end the boogeyman, we're going to end it on my terms. And they had his blessing. Of course, this film it starred Jamie Lee Curtis, Andy Machuk. She's still in there as Allison. Ronan Campbell, Will Patton because he was the sheriff. Kylie Richards came back. Of course, James Jude Courtney because he had to play Michael. Rohan Campbell, he played this new character known as Corey. Oh, the Corey character. We're gonna get into that in a bit. Music, of course, is still by John Carpenter and his son Cody Carpenter, which is pretty badass. The film was released October 11th in 2022. Originally as like, you know, an early screening, but it was released everybody to the public on the 14th. That was the same day that same thing like Kills because this was still in the pandemic. This was released on streaming as on the same day as movie theaters. Did you know that?
No, I wasn't sure about that one.
Yeah, because when this film was supposed to be released, everybody knew with the pandemic and all that stuff. Nobody knew what was going to happen. And then when they finally released it, they did the same thing as Halloween Kills. Because Kills, some movie theaters were open, some weren't. This one, most movie theaters were open at the time in 2022. But what I thought was really cool about this one was the fact that they just decided to do it a little differently and have both of them released at the same time. And believe it or not, this had a budget of 33 million. This took home a box office gangbusters, what Slinky would call it, 105 million. So it made 70 million over its budget. So not bad for this film, right?
Yeah, it did really good.
I mean, it hyped up because it was supposed to be the end of Michael Myers. What's going to happen to him? Let's get into that story because I know we got so much to talk about. You want to break it down the story, how it starts?
It starts off with this kid or young guy, young teenage guy, whatever, going to babysit this kid. His name's Corey. While babysitting, I think Corey has like what's it called when you're like afraid of small spaces.
Claustrophobia?
Yeah, he's like locked in a closet or something like that. And he's trying to get out, and the kid won't let him out. And he kicks the door open, knocks the kid off like a balcony inside the house or whatever. He falls and dies. Um, wasn't intentional or whatever, but he kills the kid. So now he's like the new babysitter killer guy or whatever that the whole town hates. Um, that's basically how it starts off. He's like getting bullied and picked on by different people around the town or whatever because he killed this kid, and everyone thinks he's like some kind of like terrible person or whatever. He's not really, but eventually he ends up somehow running into Michael down in like a sewer type area. Um, and there you see Michael's like really weak. Um, Eventually, I think Corey gets his mask and tries like basically being like a copycat kind of killer, but he's wearing a different kind of mask,
Hmm.
almost like Michael's sidekick kind of. It's just really strange that they did that. I get it, Michael got like beat up a lot in kills, but the way kills ended, you would have thought this one Michael would have came back and just fucking like wrecked shit and been awesome, but he's
Right?
barely in the movie.
Honestly, I I don't have a problem with the storyline. I think it's really good, but it's not Halloween Ends. That's the thing. I mean, because this movie did not follow Michael Myers but more than like 10 minutes. Am I wrong?
No, not at all. Yeah, he's in it for 5 to 10 minutes tops.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like everybody wanted to see Michael come back because what happened at the end of Kills? He unleashed that motherfucker went wild and killed everybody. And
Yeah,
they all said evil dies tonight. He said fuck y'all. He killed everybody in that. And honestly, if they would have ended Halloween Kills as the last one, I would have been content. I would have been happy at that. And I've even said that back then, and I still say that today. Halloween Ends. I thought it was okay in the beginning. It was kind of brutal how he was this 21-year-old kid. He kicks the door in. The kid falls, breaks his neck or whatever. Okay. I thought what was crazy in the story is that the judge thought, like, oh, he knew what he did was wrong. So they cleared him. And then they started calling him, the Michael Myers because, of course, it happened a year after everything had happened in 2018. And it was a little weird with the story about how he was getting picked on. Laurie Strode kind of comes in and was like, "Hey, I see that you're getting messed with. Here, let's pick on these guys." The bullets catch up to him. They throw him over the bridge, and that's how he meets Michael. Um, the whole concept of Michael doesn't talk, right? And he doesn't even talk in this one. He's just hiding in a sewer because nobody knows where he went, and he's this feeble old man, just and just a little bit of strength. And I guess they're struggling or whatever. He tries to choke Corey. He lets go of Corey, and I guess it's like a weird visual thing, like he's passing over the evil to him, which I thought was
yeah,
kind of stupid. Like, I get the whole concept that evil never dies or the blackest eyes or whatever. Um, that was kind of a cool concept, and then to tie him in with Allison and Lori felt bad for him, so she brought him to the doctor's office. Allison's training to be a doctor. She's a nurse. She sees that this doctor and this other nurse are fucking around, and that's how the nurses get like promoted and all that crap. Um, they go to, I guess they start hitting it off. It was almost like Twilight, where she's like, "I'm in love with you," which was weird. And he tells the whole story. As soon as he says, "Well, I've killed someone," oh man, the panties drop. Am
yeah,
I wrong on that one? Like she went after him, dude. Um, and I thought it was crazy because like this whole movie was just following Allison and Corey, and Allison has issues with her ex-boyfriend. It shows how Corey sets him up and then Michael kills him and shit. And then he just, I don't know, goes crazy. And he ends up being this good kid that slowly goes down this path of evil. And little by little, like the kills were all right. They showed how he tag teamed with Michael, which I thought was like, oh, my little buddy. And they were all right. Don't get me wrong. But the massive badass. Corey, he had to wear a mask, so he wore the stupid scarecrow mask that him and Allison had, which
yeah,
it didn't fit. And I don't know. And the whole story was following them, and then it followed that like, how can Michael still be alive? How are these kills becoming like Michael? Um, I thought it was kind of sad too because Corey's mom was a bitch, and they showed that his dad run a junkyard, and his dad was all nice, and these bully kids kept fucking with him. They go to his place. The dad ends up getting shot. Like it was all haywire. This movie was all over. It had some weird symbolism about how Lori and the sheriff deputy they were together, not together. and it finds some ways that they were like lovers, and that could have been, her daughter's dad, that kind of thing. There was a lot of deep meaning to it, but honestly, this is not a Michael Myers film. This is not a Halloween film.
No, he's just not in it enough. I mean, they made him like this weak, feeble old man that couldn't do hardly nothing, and he's supposed to be like the boogeyman that, like, you know, like how he was in Halloween Kills. Like he went through and like fucking killed damn near the whole damn town that was coming after him. And then all of a sudden, now since I guess he got hurt at the end of Kills, normally Michael would heal up and be good to go. Like why they made him like so weak and unable to do much on his own, I don't know.
Yeah, and it's just I love the kills. I really do love the kills on this. When he goes after the DJ and cuts off his tongue, um, like there was a lot of good kills. How he kills his mom, how he like runs over the bullies, and the one girl's like, no, no, and he fucking smashes her in the face. You can see a lot of inspiration from Rob Zombie's Halloween in this one, right?
Yeah,
And you know what's so funny? Everybody's so quick to talk shit about Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, but I respect Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 more now when this film came out because he did it first. Everything that Michael did in this one was a complete ripoff of what Zombie did to kind of end the series, right?
yeah,
And it's just everything from stomping on the face to being more humanistic to being like, "Ugh," and slow. And um honestly though, with every great storyline, it has to come to an end. That's why they call this Halloween Ends. They set it up to where Lori was going to fake her suicide attempt or some weird crap like that. And Corey is now Michael Myers. He's wearing his mask. And then they have a struggle. And then it's so stupid because he's like, well, you can't kill me because Allison's going to know. And, then he kills himself. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's so stupid. You build it all up to be a badass, and then he kills himself, right? And Allison, she just ends up like hating on her. And then all of a sudden, Michael Myers comes in, and I thought what was the craziest thing, he comes in without the fucking mask, which he finds the mask, he puts it on, and I when I see this fight, I always think of the Gordon Ramsay quote from you've seen Kitchen Nightmares, right?
yeah, yeah, of course.
So there's this old episode where this guy's like, "You guys cook like two old people fuck." And I think of this quote in my head because that's what the struggle was between Michael and Lori. They're like 80 years old, like fucking strangling each other in the kitchen. I
Yeah,
I just can't, dude. Like, I get it, they're both old. I get it in the storyline. I get it that Jamie Lee Curtis is old. But Jesus Christ, dude, it's just, hands on each other's necks, thrown back and forth. I saw a better fight in Terminator 2 between the T-1000 and the T-800. Like, what the fuck is this? And
yeah,
then she pulls the refrigerator on Michael, pins him down, and then I guess she stabs him, and then she finally just says, screw it, and then she, slits his neck, and and that was it. Michael was dead. And I thought that was one of the craziest things that they did was they officially killed him like he was just garbage, like he was just a human. No thought into it at all. It was just we're gonna pin him down and we're gonna slit his throat and let him bleed out. And that's what they did. And after that, they all like came together as a town. And I thought it was cool because you had, the winks of all the people from all the series. Um, you had what's her name? Kylie Richards came back as Lindsay. You saw the old lady from Halloween Kills where she gets the light tube put in her throat, which that was brutal. I thought she died. You find out in the
yeah.
end she didn't die, and it was like, oh shit. And you see all these people just pissed off, and they unmask Michael, and she puts him in this little like industrial grinder, and they put him in this grinder, and they said, oh yeah, evil's gone, and they grind up Michael Myers, and it's I just I'm so pissed at this. So they grind him up, and then afterwards, like everybody's all back to being happy. Lori is writing her memoir or what about it, and after that, like you see her and Allison, they're like back together again, being cool. She goes on a date with the sheriff, And she still keeps the Halloween mask right in the story, ends the story, and then it's like, okay, Halloween ends, and then they play Don't Fear the Reaper. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, oh. And I'm being nice giving you guys a review on this. Like this, if you watch the movie, it's 2 hours of your time that you will never get back. This is bad, dude. Bad. Please back me up on this, dude.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said in the beginning, like if it was a whole entire separate thing and they just didn't have nothing to do with Halloween, it would have been a decent, Halloween themed horror movie around the same time or whatever. But
Yeah.
when you put this into the Halloween series as a Michael Myers film, and Michael has never been some kind of weak pushover that gets killed by like some 80-year-old woman. I mean, she might not be 80, maybe like 65 or 70,
You
something
said
like
80-year-old woman. Oh my god.
that. But getting killed by like like a not it wasn't like she would had like a machine gun and fucking nothing like that. She just like you said knocked the fridge over on him and just let it start. It was like the weakest fight ever.
Yeah.
Like
He was such a badass. Look what he did in Halloween 18. He smashed the dude's face in, pulls the teeth out, right? He stabbed a freaking mother and killed her in front of the baby. He killed half the town people that beat the shit out of him at the end of Kills. He killed Lori's daughter and her husband. Like, dude, the guy was a badass. And the way that you end it, where he's just like, all frail and pin him with the freaking refrigerator and then slit his throat. Like, no thought into that. It just, honestly, it was such a letdown at that. I would have, if they would have had a better fight where he got stabbed like 10 times, or like you said, they used a machine gun, or he got shot, or something, something that shows damage, something that just not like one hit and done, it just,
yeah,
oh, like you talk him up as being this big badass in the original. You have Halloween in the 18 and Kills that shows the flashback of how these cops beat the shit out of him. You show that he got stabbed in the eye from the hanger, and he still had one eye, was still kicking ass. He got stabbed in the neck and was still kicking ass. The whole town beat the shit out of him, and it's just, I mean, I don't know if they were trying to go for the Dark Knight approach. What do you think?
I don't know what they were thinking.
I mean, you and everybody else, dude, like, what the hell were they thinking? Like, if you're gonna end Halloween, why the hell would you end it like this? Like, why?
I don't know, man. I don't get it. They should have had a much better fight. Had him in the movie a lot more than they did. Um, and maybe had like Corey as like a very small character that was just like here and there, and Michael was the main star, like he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
A lot of things they could have changed and made it a decent movie, and then changed the whole fight at the end too. They would have had to reshoot the whole movie to make it like good. But
Well,
yeah, I don't know what the
yeah.
hell they were.
And you know what sucks about this too? They actually screen this for fans to see, right? For the screening to see if like, oh, what can we change and all this stuff, right? They actually screened this and they went back and reshot this film. They did a lot of reshoots because people weren't happy with the ending, right? So this is the ending that we got. Who knows what was the other previous ending? I don't know if they put it on the Blu-ray yet or if they announced what was happening with it or not. But when I heard that people were going to be pissed about this, I was like, no, they can't. And, like you said, if they would have changed the name to something different and if they wanted to center it around Corey, if they were going to say like Evil Lives On, like if they would have called it Halloween, Evil Lives On, okay, cool. Because he transferred the evil to Corey, right?
Yeah, like after he passed away or after he died, then go on to like a sequel to Halloween Ends, and it's like a whole nother killer trying to take his place or whatever. That'd be a whole different thing.
Yeah, that'd be a
But
copycat, which would be badass. That'd be like Friday the 13th Part 5 with Roy.
yeah,
Um, I would love that. If the fact that like let's say that Michael was dying because of his injuries, because of his kills, right? And Corey finds him and Corey kills him. Or Corey like straps him down or kidnaps him or captures him or some shit. And then he pretends to be Michael as a copycat. Like that would be a better storyline than like, okay, because Michael's locked down, and then when Michael gets pissed, he just unleashes and ends up being him versus Michael. Michael winning, and then Laurie gets in the middle of the fight and kills him. Which that is kind of what they did, but dude, they just did not execute it well, man. Like they just had to make this like a dick measuring game of like who has bigger writer credits. Like, oh, we're gonna kill the boogeyman, and it's just no, no, you guys fucked up the whole story. You built it all the way up to this, like the ending was flat, dude, flat. I just,
Yeah.
I, I want to like this film, and I know we bashed it last year or when it first came out 2 years ago. Um, I tried watching it again last year. I watched it again this year, and every time I watch it, I get more and more pissed off. Like, how do you let this film go like that? Um, Laurie Strode's in the movie like 5-10 minutes herself. It follows Allison, which is fine. I like how it follows Allison, but it didn't follow the ass. It almost feels like this is a great value Rob Zombie Halloween 2, does it?
Yeah, but Halloween 2 is better than this.
Yeah. And here's the thing, the reason why Halloween 2 is better, right? What happened with Laurie Strode in Halloween 2? It showed that she couldn't deal with how her friends got killed and everything. And she went crazy, right? With depression,
Yeah.
anxiety. Well, what were they doing in Halloween Ends with Allison? Same thing, right? Except she fell for a bad boy this time. So I
Yeah.
give him credit for that. What's the difference between Michael and this one and Michael and Rob Zombie's 2? They were both old, but one was more pissed off than the other. They had badass kills, even though they were Corey's. But the masks and everything, like their demeanor, they were pissed off. When Corey was as Michael. Um, and what happened at the end of both of them? He like at least Rob Zombie shot and killed Michael like in a realistic way. He got shot. He got obliterated. This
Yeah.
one, he gets slit in the throat and then thrown in a grinder. Like, uh, and I really do like Rob Zombie's take because he was putting it more of a realistic approach from everybody. Like, how does the death involve everybody? How does it hurt everybody? And if he came back to the scene of the crime. This one, it had a half-ass approach, and then it said, you know what? We're done. Fuck this. We've done 40 something years of Halloween. We got to cut out. And the worst part is John Carpenter fucking approved this. John Carpenter, the guy who invented Michael Myers in the Halloween franchise, he approved this shit. And God, man. Oh, I'm sorry. I went on my rant. You go ahead and finish.
Well, you basically covered most of the basics. It could have been a lot better than it was. A lot of missed opportunities. Um, Basically screwed Michael over, made him this feeble old man that couldn't do shit and got killed by a refrigerator and a knife. And a very old woman, which Michael's supposed to be this like not like in this one. I don't know if he's really supernatural or not, but he's still supposed to be a pretty strong guy.
Yeah.
And yeah, they just did him wrong, did him dirty. They didn't give him the respect he deserved to end, the whole
Yeah.
series. So yeah, I definitely did not really enjoy this one much at all.
Yeah. And honestly, this has to be the worst out of all of them. I know. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. I know there's going to be people in the comments down below, but they're going to be saying, well, Ends was a great film. It ended the story. You got to see it from this point of view. No, I get it. I get it. Halloween Ends. I like the story. They just didn't execute it well. And I don't know, for some reason, maybe it was the pandemic. Maybe it was something where people got cold feet. They didn't want to kill them off, or because you can tell they had a really good story and then they just half-assed some of it. Like, I like the Corey aspect, but then they half-assed it. And then I like what they were building up to the ending, and then they half-assed it. And I love what they could have done, but then they half-assed it. Like, okay, we're gonna end it. No, we're gonna continue it. Like what I was telling you about, if Corey had kidnapped Michael, Michael breaks out, they fight. Michael kills him, and then Laurie kills Michael in the middle of that. Like that's actually a really good storyline. Am I wrong?
No, that could have been pretty cool.
Yeah, and that took 2 seconds of thought. 2 seconds thought right there from a huge Halloween fan like us. I get everybody wants to get their writing creds in, and it's like he always says, it's in the script. It's in the script.
Yeah,
This was really in the script, dude, because I'm just like, God damn it. Um, but you know what though? I mean, I can't hate on it because this film came out during the pandemic. Well, most theaters were open, and this one actually took a shot and said, you know what? We're gonna lose money regardless. So that's why they had it streaming on Peacock the same day that this came out in theaters. And the fact that it still made 105 million, almost 106 million between, Halloween weekend and streaming. I don't know how they factor in the streaming, but for box office in the theaters alone, it made 100 million. That's not chump change.
yeah, it
Um,
did really well.
I mean, it did well, and as a fan, I love all the winks they did to it. Did you see the subtitles what they did to it to make it match like Halloween 3?
Yeah, yeah, I did notice that. The opening credits looked just like Halloween 3,
Yeah.
but Halloween 3 was a better movie.
Damn, KC called it out. You all heard it here first. He said Halloween 3 was better, and I agree with him. I'm sorry. I gotta agree with him, guys. But you know what? I know there's gonna be the naysayers. If you guys love this movie, I get it. We're Halloween fanboys. I'm not gonna bash your favorite movie anymore. But I'm gonna say this, like, Michael should have deserved a better ending. And we all have to come together to agree with this shit. Because if Michael was going to be ended, like gone, I would have loved for somebody to be a copycat killer. They kept his mask at the end. So maybe there's hope that they're going to do it. There was talk that they were going to do a future TV show with Blumhouse and all that stuff. I don't know if you caught wind of that, Casey, but
Yeah, I
there's
saw they
still.
were doing something, either another movie or a show or something.
Yeah, and I don't know how they're going to continue it. Apparently, Blumhouse doesn't want the rights anymore, so somebody else is going to pick it up. They're saying Dimensions might get it back. Who knows? It's really what they say. You can't kill the boogeyman, but I'm excited to see what they got planned in the future for this, as far as if they do a TV show and everything. To end it, because evil dies tonight, finally. On his rating scale from our 10, this one I have to give abysmal. I'm going to be fair and I'm going to be nice, and I'll give this one at least a 3 star out of 10.
Yeah, I could agree. I'd give this one 3 shit stains.
Oh shit! Not even a star. He gives it a 3 shit stains. Oh, see, if you guys watch the shit show, you know what he's talking about. That's not good. That's not good. um,
Yeah, I'll have some new episodes coming up soon.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. That's going to be a good one too. With that being said, we have to talk about the mask before we end it. What'd you think of the mask on this one?
If I remember correctly, it was basically the same one from Kills, like a little bit more aged. But it looked pretty good. It just didn't see it very much. I can't really remember a whole lot about the mask.
I mean, you're right. I'll give you that. Like, this is basically if you, oh my God, I'm laughing because I can already see the fanboys right now. No, kills and ends. They were two different masks. No, I get it. I get it. We're saying this from an outsider view. If you saw the movie and you saw the mask, they did great on the mask because they made it look very similar to Kills. The problem with Kills and Ends, they're very similar. The only difference is with the Ends, he has like the gunk on his face, all the white residue and shit from the age, and that's pretty
Oh
cool.
yeah,
And I give it credit for that. Out of the masks, I still have to say, since we're ending the franchise fondly, my favorite one's still going to be Resurrection. I got to give Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 up there as like number 2 because I love that worn out mask. Halloween 18 and Halloween Kills. I always love those masks, those worn and torn ones, dude. With this one, I mean, you're pretty much right on the money. I know a lot of people that they're gonna be like, now they're talking shit on ends. Now they're talking shit on one of the best masks. And no, I like the mask. I just wish they would have did a little bit more different to where like there was a tear on the neck or something, or the eyeball was showing. If they would have did the Rob Zombies too, that would have been cool. But I mean, already a lot of people were talking, saying this is basically the great value of Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. But for me, I just I if Halloween had ended on Halloween Kills, I'd be content with that. They didn't need this film. And this one's going to be forgotten about, I think, somewhere down the road. It could either be forgotten or a cult classic, but I don't know. I mean, what's your final take on it, Casey?
Well, with what you were just saying, I mean, it could possibly, because that's kind of what happened with Halloween 3. Everyone hated it at first, but then when they kind of like separated it as its own, like its own thing, Halloween 3 is a great Halloween film, just not a Michael Myers film. This one, like I was saying in the beginning, it's a decent movie. If you were to remove the title, remove him, change the ending where that wasn't in there, Laurie wasn't in there at all, it wouldn't be that bad of a movie. But being
Yeah.
it's a Halloween movie and Michael is in it, and they just did him dirty, and he was barely even in the movie. It's my least favorite of the entire series.
Yeah. I mean, the end of the day, boys, I gotta hand it to y'all. This would be a great Michael Myers backup kind of movie. If this movie was streaming free, if somebody gave me this Blu-ray autographed with everybody's signature on it, I don't know if I would take it, dude. Just um, Kills, Kills, I think was the one that did it for me. It was great. Ends, it's just, oh, it's not a Halloween film. I mean, who knows? We'll see what people say somewhere down the road. Maybe they'll do another recreation of it, but you know, it's it's been a long one. I mean, we've been talking about the Halloween franchise. Um, thank you all for tuning in for everything on this because I know we've talked about how many Halloween films are there now. What
There was
was
a
it? There
lot,
was
but we've gotten to the end.
there was a lot. We got to the end. Be on the lookout too because we're gonna do a special on this. I like to call it the Omnibus Collection, so it's gonna have all the episodes tied into one, so that way you guys can catch up on all this in one big video. This is a great franchise. I really do hope they do something good because this can't be the end of the Boogeyman. And I mean, we got some other stuff that we're looking on. Terrifier is out there right now, tearing it up with Terrifier 3. Um, we might be looking into the Candyman franchise with some stuff going on with that. But I mean, whew, future's looking bright. The holiday season is coming. Casey, fuck it, man. Let's go get some Canadian whiskey, some Canadian mist, and let's have some fun. Or wait, what is the drink? Yeah, he was drinking a funny drink over here. Show everybody your drink.
Oh yeah, the balls. Yeah, we gotta get you some balls.
Yeah, give me some balls. There you go. Screw it, man. Let's go watch Terrifier and drink some balls.
Sounds good. Till next time. Stay classy, folks.